missions, landing the booster continues to be a secondary objective, and it's important to remember that our primary mission today is to get the X-37B into orbit around the Earth. Final status update. Fuel is now fully loaded. The spacecraft, Falcon 9 is moving towards full internal power. It means it's running on its own batteries. Vehicle tanks are fully pressed up, currently working, no issues. Weather is go, range is go. Let's listen in to the last minutes of terminal count.
Stage 2 helium return manifold secured.
Stromberg lower has ended. Stromberg's at 88.3 degrees.
The Pad 39A was
Stage 2 TVC motion nominal.
Previously used for not only the Apollo missions but also the space shuttle missions, and most of the structure that you could just see to the left of the rocket are actually remnants of the shuttle program. Those were the maintenance and manning towers for the space shuttle.
Stage 2 lock secured. Falcon 9 is on internal power.
As for the Hurricane currently moving in, now you can predict weather with to some degree, and for today's
vehicles
launch,
self-align.
During today's launch window, the
Ground gas close out the starter.
will not impede on the launch
Stage 1 and Stage 2 cryo
in
secured.
Cape Canaveral. However, for example, if they had to scrub today, then they would not try tomorrow due to the hurricane and would have to wait until the hurricane had passed by and, of course, secure the rocket during the hurricane. But for today, the hurricane is not an issue yet.
Gas cloud sets, it's complete.
AFTS is ready for launch.
Falcon 9 is in startup. Stage 1 and Stage 2 present for flight.
LDS go for launch.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Stage 1 pressing 2 liftoff pressures. Falcon 9's configured
T-minus
for
15
flight.
seconds. Stand by for terminal count. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We have successful liftoff of the Falcon 9 carrying Spaceplane designated OTV-5.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Now you can just hear the
We've had successful liftoff of the Falcon 9. Look closely, we're about to move through supersonic. You may actually see the vapor cone that forms from the shockwave if we're lucky. Otherwise, we're coming up shortly on max Q, which is maximum aerodynamic pressure, the point at which Falcon 9 is pushing hardest against the atmosphere.
We are supersonic.
Impact controls begun.
The rocket has successfully passed.
And there you heard the MVAC engine chill, which prepares the second stage engine for ignition. Main engine cutoff is coming up in about 40 seconds from now, shortly followed by both stage separation and then second engine start. We'll be concluding coverage of the primary mission at that point.
Now we are traveling at Mach 3, but we are also 40 kilometers up there. The atmosphere is roughly 100th the density of
And minor countdown that second stage call-ups will be performed on LVNet.
And with increasing altitude, the aerodynamic stress is only going to decrease with the atmosphere getting thinner and thinner.
Watch for main engine cutoff coming up shortly.
Miko. Stage separation.
Stage separation confirmed.
Successful first stage separation.
Now we've had successful second stage separation and ignition. Notice the vehicle is currently, or the first stage is currently doing a fast flip maneuver and a boost back burn. The fast flip is to get it headed back towards landing zone 1 as quickly as possible. And the boost back burn, or to get it in the right orientation to head back. And the boost back burn actually pushes it back towards landing zone 1.
Now this goes relatively early in this flight.
We've got 3 engines. So we're in the outer reaches of the atmosphere, so you can't actually see any visible flame, but you'll notice indications that the engines are on just above the first stage there in this shot.
Because this launch is into low Earth orbit, and most Falcon launches are into geostationary
Stage
orbit.
1 boost back burn shut down.
And it's a relatively light payload.
The boost back
second
burn
stage
has
can be
now
much
ended.
lower.
Notice that the vehicle is still climbing.
And the first stage only gave the initial push and can now spend the rest of
There you saw the
fuel
grid
back
fins
to
just
catch up.
opened up. These grid fins are recently moved to being made out of titanium, which is a much higher temperature material than aluminum, and that's better able to stand the high temperatures of re-entry. You'll also notice the brief spurts of what appear to be white smoke. Those are our nitrogen thrusters. And those control the orientation of the vehicle when the grid fins aren't able to, because there's no atmosphere. Grid fins, of course, requiring atmosphere to operate. First stage continuing its parabolic arc, heading towards landing zone 1, starting to descend back towards Earth. We're still about a minute and a half or so away from the re-entry burn, which is going to slow the vehicle down to only a couple times the speed of sound before re-entering the atmosphere.
Now, while it might be somewhat upsetting that due to secrecy we can't see the rest of the second stage mission, it does also mean, of course, that the webcast will focus more on the first stage. So, since you're probably all really interested in the first stage landing and, well, Falcon 9 reusability, and that's also kind of interesting.
Re-entry burn coming up in about 1 minute. As you can see, the speed of the first stage is still rapidly increasing. The re-entry burn is going to slow that back down in order to keep those aerodynamic forces upon re-entry at a minimum. Those cold gas thrusters still adjusting the attitude of the first stage.
Entry startup.
There's the re-entry burn. This will last for another 15 seconds or so, rapidly decreasing the entering velocity.
Entry burn shut down.
Successful conclusion of the re-entry burn. You can notice that's ground underneath Falcon 9 there, heading toward landing zone 1. We're about to slow back down through the speed of sound. You notice those vibrations as that is coming up.
Now,
Stage 1 ATS has saved.
interestingly, if you combine the altitude and the speed and the atmospheric density at that altitude,
Stage 1 is transonic.
Coming up in just a few seconds now, we're going to begin the landing burn.
the aerodynamic stress on the rocket
That will
during
slow the
landing
vehicle
is
down for a
much
gentle
higher
touchdown.
than during launch.
Landing burn started.
And the rocket is now in its final landing burn, which is timed exactly to slow it down.
This is a single engine burn, which allows for more control. And there you can see it on the screen on your right there, descending through the clouds, headed towards the concrete pad.
Just so it comes to a halt, just above the landing pad where it will do the final adjustments and then drop down.
Landing legs deployed. Falcon has successfully landed. Landing operators, please boost procedure 11.100 for section 3.
And there we had it. You can see the landing legs deployed. That's Falcon 9 standing proud at landing zone 1. At that point, or at this point, with the successful landing of the first stage, we'll be ending today's webcast. It was a very smooth countdown. Everything proceeded nominally. The weather was looking potentially a bit tricky with those clouds, but ended up being a go. Smooth first stage ascent, smooth second stage separation and start, and then that beautiful landing that you just saw. So we'd like to thank the Air Force for today's mission and support, the range for also providing support, and to you for tuning in. If you'd like to join us at SpaceX,